All right, and we are back with the Free Culture Sports Show post-game report. Manchester United versus Liverpool FC, September 12th, 2015. If you listen to our halftime report, you will not understand, like, if you didn't watch the game, it would be like, are these the same day? Are these, what is going on? We had 4 goals in the second half, and I got to say, the announcers on NBC were really down on Liverpool. I think that actually they had more chances than United in the second half. I didn't keep count. I mean, two of the goals were on fouls. The two That's Manchester true. United goals were on fouls. I mean, so, one of them was a penalty. So, that's just whether that, I mean, probably stupidity. I mean, I was seeing, after that time, I saw Smalling and other Manchester's defenders not go to ground in the box, just size up Liverpool forward and play defense. So going to the ground that early when you're there, he's not right in front, Herrera was not right in front of the goal. It wasn't like I'm stopping a goal by doing this. It was just sort of like throwing your body out there. And maybe the Ashley Young, the pullback for the first goal, it didn't end up in a penalty. Maybe you have to do that to stop Ashley Young from getting, clean on goal, and not necessarily ready to call that stupid. But
I mean, I think it was a smart foul, or to do what he did. I mean, the defending after that was ridiculously awful, but that's different. I think the foul was, for the position he was in at that moment, I think it was fine.
Yeah. But, I mean, Liverpool had the goal line clearance, and then there was the ball that came across 2 yards in front of goal. Should have been a goal. Like, Danny Blind got, kicked right in the stomach to save a goal.
Well, if Firmino had been, paying attention instead of calling for a goal that wasn't going to be called, and he would have been more aware, he could have just hit it first time. But he was too busy flailing his arms around looking at the referee, and then all of a sudden the ball came across the box.
It's contagious at Old Trafford. He's caught Wayne Rooney disease. You just can't trap the ball anymore. It's just
I just don't understand why players can't get it in their head that there is now a system that will tell the referee if there's a goal, so you don't have to throw your arms up and try to complain that there was a goal. It's unnecessary, so just keep playing. It just baffles me.
It's very true. I don't understand all the shenanigans with the officials regardless. I mean, just in general. Why has any official ever changed their mind? I don't know. They say, there's makeup calls, and I guess sometimes. And I thought the official had a good game, barring there should have been a yellow card on Mata. He played advantage and didn't call a foul because it was clearly Mata was pulling on whoever was playing on the left for Liverpool at the time. And I thought sure he was going to go back and give him a yellow card because you can't just pull on people like that. But I mean, it was so blatantly obvious, but he did not go back.
Maybe because he played advantage, he forgot about it, or
yeah, well, it was a while, but I mean, isn't that? I mean, I don't know. It seems like it wouldn't be that hard.
Maybe because it didn't affect the play because there was an advantage. He deemed it wasn't worthy. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was just a blown call.
I thought the referee was pretty right about everything except for maybe that. But other than that, I thought the referee, all the referees. I mean, there may have been once that Benteke was offsides, but it didn't matter. I mean, all the referees, I didn't have an issue with any of them.
So the Manchester United positives, obviously the win. Schweinsteiger played a whole 90 minutes. Martial came on a goal. And let's start with that one. What a goal. We'll move back and talk about the Benteke goal. I mean, that was all Martial, or was it poor defending on the part of Liverpool?
It was poor defending from Skirtle. He turned himself around the other direction and took his eye off the ball, and at that point, you're done.
But he was already in the box at that point. So, I think it's smart for Skirtle not to dive in there. I mean, he's probably getting sent off.
He turned to the right away from the goal to kind of get his momentum build up when the guy's going at the goal. I mean, if he's going to beat you, at least try to get a nick on the ball, or you got teammates coming in, try to hold him up. But I mean, I know it was moving fast, but the moment you spin around, your eye is completely off the ball, and when you turn around, you got to readjust. So
right.
I don't know. I've never really liked Skirtle's one-on-one defending. I think he's a great team defender and a great in-the-air box defender, but one-on-one he got beat, and it happened.
Okay, so some poor defending, but still great composure, great concentration, and great control of the ball. Or he got lucky, one or the other. But the ball stayed at his foot after Skirtle got a little bit of a touch on it. He was able to maintain control, size up the goal very quickly, and stick it in the bottom corner. I mean, he puts that ball.
The placement was great.
Almost anywhere else than Mennelay. I mean, maybe he could chip it over Mennelay if Mennelay goes to ground early, but you're waiting for Mennelay to make a move first at that point. So that's basically the only place. I mean, that's right at the post is the only place you're putting that ball in. Great goal. I didn't see a lot more. He looked strong, but there was some stuff that, maybe you would have liked to see him hold up the ball a little bit more. But
they were talking about how he could spin off defenders and play in the space more with his pace than he did. But it's just something he's got to learn.
All right. So let's back up from the Sturridge goal, the lone Liverpool goal, which I don't think we said. But not Sturridge. Sturridge is hurt. There was some talk that he would be back. Do you know? Have they said it?
He participated in full practice this week.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
If it was once or twice or how often, but he's not going to be game fit yet. For 90 minutes. But he could have. I mean, could he have come on and made a difference? Probably not.
Did he play in both of the England matches?
I don't think he played in either one.
Okay. So, I mean, that was, I think, part of the concern with Rooney was overuse. I mean, it was precautionary. I mean, it sounds stupid to leave out, of a derby match just as a precaution. But, you want Rooney around for the rest of the season. So, and he broke the England goal-scoring record, the international goal-scoring record, not the Premier League goal-scoring record, with a penalty kick. And speaking of penalties, that was an amazing penalty. I mean, amazing penalty. You're supposed to hit penalties, but the roof, I mean, that's the perfect penalty.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way a keeper can stop that. I mean,
you have to either be stupid or confident, or maybe both, to hit that into the roof like that.
I thought he had hit the crossbar at first. I was just like, I was so amazed at where that penalty ended up. Yeah. I was like, did he just kick it over? Like, what happened? It literally took me a second to like, what happened? And then I was
I mean, you didn't see the ball like move. It was like in the penalty spot, and then it was in the back of the net. It was like,
and it was at the top of the net, and I was like, it was a great penalty, and the free kick was very well designed, very poor defended from Liverpool, who. I don't think the commentators were questioning why they were at so far deep. And that can be up for discussion too. I think they were too scared it was going to come into Fellaini, which you can't be that scared. But they acted like they had no idea what was going on defensively. Like Sean and Skirtle and everybody, they're like, are we lining up here? Are we lining up there? Where are we lining up at? Guys, look at the wall. I mean, like they had no idea what was going on. And, of course, you can't defend if you have no idea what's going on. They had all 10 guys, it looked like, on the 6-yard line, and then nobody playing defense out at the 18. And I mean, leave it wide open for a Man U player. He's probably going to finish it.
Yeah. I mean, he is nominally a center back, but, I mean, I don't think he's ever played there until this year. So,
yeah, midfielder.
Right.
Holding midfielder.
Right.
Yeah, it was. I thought Ashley Young made the game more exciting.
Yeah, I mean Memphis. He dribbled a lot, but he didn't really do a lot. I mean,
I think that introduction of Ashley Young just changed the whole complexion of the game, not because of maybe any one thing that he did, but I mean, the goal happened from his move, and then Liverpool had to go chase another one, and then the penalty happened. But I mean, it just after that the game actually started going, and you can say it was because of Ashley Young or it's just because of what happened. But when he came in, the game changed.
True. So I mentioned the Benteke. Well, I called him Sterling, but the Benteke goal. And I call it. All right. So many names. But yes, Sterling now plays for Manchester City. So yes, Benteke. Then wearing the number 9 shirt. So I thought there were a lot of good balls in. So we didn't mention the Danny Ings one. Forced a good save from De Gea, and then there was another shot where De Gea made a good save.
I was putting that in the top right corner, and De Gea got a hand to it. That was
I mean, I still think that. I mean, De Gea. There's a reason why there was such a fight from Madrid, and that's sort of another story. I mean, a lot of commentators have said that they think that Real Madrid was just posturing to make David De Gea feel good, so next year he'll want to come to Real Madrid, but they didn't actually want to pay for him this year. And, who knows what the story is, really. And, maybe Manchester United just, this was like the greatest thing ever for them because, he'll get another season. Maybe he'll feel like that's where he needs to be and he'll sign on. I mean, everybody expects him to go to Real Madrid, but, if they make a late run in the Champions League, I almost said European Cup, in the Champions League. It hasn't been the European Cup in like basically my whole life of like paying attention, but I almost called it the European Cup. But and if they win like the Premier League, which I don't think is going to happen, but let's just say they make a late run, they catch up with City, maybe not overtake them, but it's really a great title race between them and City this year. Maybe De Gea decides this is a good place to be. I don't know. I mean, time will tell. Obviously, his head is in the right place enough to be in the game today. So,
yeah.
Mignolet, I think, has taken a lot of criticism in the past.
In the past he has. I thought he had a good game. I mean, he couldn't really do it.
Okay, his distribution at the beginning was horrid.
Other than that, other than his distribution there for about a 5-minute span, I think it, was pretty good. He wasn't really called on too much to make too many saves. He came out on a few crosses, couldn't do anything about the penalty, couldn't do anything about the free kick. Maybe could have done something about the third goal, but I don't know if a goalkeeper really could have done anything about that. Yeah. So he has 3 goals against him this game, but I don't really think any of them were really his fault, or that he could have done anything. And I don't think he ever actually really made a save on goal, though. Can you remember one time he actually made a save on a shot that was going towards the goal?
Save on a shot. Yeah, I mean, a lot of his coming out was good, but
I don't think there was actually a shot that he saved.
Yeah, I don't think that there was, or not one that wasn't. There was
there was like a deflection slow roller that went through.
Yeah, that's true. So I think that's the only one though. So. All right, so you said 7-10 for Liverpool at halftime. What are you thinking? I mean, I thought, if they hadn't sat back at the beginning of the game, then maybe this is a whole different scoreline.
Maybe.
And then I guess the question is the Braj going to learn the lesson from that?
I don't know. I think that the issue that he has is somewhere along the lines of telling players that they're going to play, because there's obviously, if you take out the 4 defenders and the goalkeeper, there's only 6 spots on the field, but he's got about 8 to 10 guys for those spots that he needs to figure out how to use them. I don't think that one forward with Benteke up top is working. unless you start playing more crosses and getting in deeper. But if you play Ings and Firmino deeper, I mean, if you try to get them deep into the by the 18-yard box, that's not their style. Like you're playing outside midfielders whose style is to be in front of goal and make stuff happen, with a forward, a striker who is, I'm going to take something out of the air and finish it. And it just doesn't mix. But then Ibe comes in and Origi comes in. Ibe is one of those who he will get down the sideline towards the end line and he'll play in crosses. So why not play Ibe at right? You know, and of course, Henderson was out. Coutinho was out. So there's two people in the center who usually play. I thought Sean was fantastic. You know, his movement was great. He was always running. Looking at my sheet, I player rated him as one of the better midfielders. I don't think Milner was very good today. So, I mean, it's just he's got so many players that he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to play you if you come to Liverpool. Oh, wait, you don't actually gel all the time. I mean, Lallana was another player I didn't even mention is out with injury. So how is he going to make this all gel? He's got to figure it out, or else I think he's going to be gone.
Yeah. So do you think he has to the end of the season, one more January transfer window? I mean, it depends on how bad things get, I guess.
I would say if there's not a game coming up where they actually look good, I don't think he makes it to the January transfer window. I don't think management would give him another chance to bring in anybody when he's already brought in a ton of people. I think that's the wrong move, is to give him another chance to bring in more players. So if they're going to make the change, I think it needs to be before January.
So before the game or during the game, Manchester United was 7th and Liverpool was 9th. Now Manchester United is 2nd, so 7th to 2nd, and Liverpool is still 9th.
You got some more games coming up.
So Leicester is the only team with a chance of overtaking United, but then West Ham could overtake Liverpool with a draw. Yeah, with a draw. And Villa would have to win. Well, actually, with a win, Villa would overtake any sort of win. They would overtake Liverpool as well. So it's early days. I mean, 538s/438s, depending on the team, of the way through the season. So, you know, the table is, you know, not what it's going to be. Crystal Palace is not going to be 4th. Leicester City is not going to be 6th. I mean, who knows about Everton, but I suspect they're not going to be 5th.
Palace looked pretty good today. I was really surprised I mean, I know they ended up losing to Man City, but they didn't give up a goal until it was past the 80th minute mark, I think. So, I mean, they looked good. Can they keep it up? Probably not, but they did. They looked really good. I mean, they probably looked better than Man United did today. They didn't look better than Everton, because Everton, well, I don't know. Chelsea's making everybody look good these days.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
I don't either. If either Sunderland or Tottenham's going to pass Chelsea down there, and if Newcastle wins, then Chelsea will be in the bottom 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not going to be there by the end of the season.
It's just
right.
5 games into a title defense, and the Mourinho team's in the bottom 3. That's just, you know, you're not. I mean, you already have an 11-point deficit to Man City. Like, I just don't think the way Man City's looked, at least, I don't think that they're catching them.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about the City win, though, and maybe making Crystal Palace look good, is Aguero went off in the 23rd minute with a injury. And, you know, how long is he going to be out? That could really dampen, you know, everybody has been presuming that City was going to run away with it since they're already 5 points ahead of United and Arsenal. But the reality is, I mean, and their goal differential is huge, but the reality is that can be erased in 2 games. So,
right.
And City and United haven't played. United wins both of those games. They have more points.
Yeah,
I mean,
same thing with Arsenal.
Right. So,
the Aguero injury, he got tackled from a high tackle. Could have been a red card. It was very late, and it was high up around the knee. I think he just took a big hit. I don't think he's got any kind of issues. I think it's just bruised up, and it was bothering him. He tried to play on it, but it was stiff or bruised pretty badly. So, I mean, he might miss a week, if that. I think he'll be fine.
So I should say I've got here on the top of the ESPNFC.us page the Atletico Madrid Barcelona. They're in the 14th minute. So it's got also shock of all shocks. Bayern Munich won, but they only won by a goal.
Both goals were late too. They were down 1-0 at like the 75th minute mark.
It's interesting because Augsburg is not a team that you like think about being, a big name, but they finished 5th last year. And the only reason I know this is because Juric, who's on loan at Malmo, plays his home club is Augsburg. And so I was, like, all right, so he plays in the Bundesliga. Who is this team? And I was like, oh, they finished 5th. All right. I mean, he wasn't playing every single game, but I do think he had like 19 appearances. So it's not like he was just wasting away in the 4th division like Julian Green is, or going to the Scottish 2nd division like Gideon Zilelom is. So that's the future of American soccer, people. Scottish 2nd division. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I might have.
That's just. I mean, where's Johansson playing at?
He was in the Bundesliga. Was it Hamburg? I'll have to look that up. I mean, but he's not super young.
No, but I mean, he's at least. You're talking about future. I was thinking of now, I guess, of players who are of U.S. players who are playing in Europe. But I don't.
Werder Bremen.
Werder Bremen. So he's
Mobile's finest.
He's playing around in a top flight division.
That is true.
No.
I don't know how far they are into their season, but he has 3 appearances and 1 goal, so it's not a terrible return for sure.
Not at all. I was trying to find when those 2 goals were for Munich but their website is, or at least the way that they do things is not very up. It looks like I may have seen it. I don't know. Quick info. There we go. Yeah, Lewandowski scored in the 77th minute and Mueller scored a penalty in the 90th. So they were down for a lot of that game. And they were talking, I watched the game for like half a second, and they were talking about how, in the years past, Munich has flown out of the gate and been so far ahead in the Bundesliga that they've kind of clicked off, and maybe that's why they haven't done so well in the Champions League lately, because they haven't had to focus the second half of the season really. So I don't know, maybe losing a couple of games now will help them with the Champions League this season. I don't know. But Dortmund is I think, actually ahead of them on goal differential for the table. So it's Dortmund after Klopp's retired. So it's interesting.
I mean, he's not really retired.
Yeah, well.
I mean, I don't think. Maybe he is. I mean, I'm sure he made enough money to where if he doesn't want to work again, he doesn't have to. But you suspect that he will coach again.
I mean, he's what, 40? Only 48.
No, so run really quick while we're talking about the table, and Leicester maybe catching up with some people and not. So Sunderland and Spurs is the early game tomorrow, followed by Leicester and Aston Villa. And then on Monday is West Ham versus Newcastle. Or I saw on the drive from Cincinnati to Brandenburg this morning, there is a city called New Space Capital Castle. Capital C Castle. So, okay. And also we passed a Verona and of course a Florence. I don't know what other names, but of course Brandenburg, not a particularly original name either.
There's a London spelled with a Y.
Is there?
Dang.
There's London's a lot of places. I thought London, Kentucky had a. Is this in Kentucky or somewhere else?
That could be somewhere else. I might be getting.
Yeah, London, Kentucky is spelled properly.
Okay. I thought there was a London spelled with a Y somewhere.
I assume for instead of the second O.
Yes, yeah. But I could be incredibly wrong. Apparently, that's how I have no idea what language this is. Spells
Polish.
Polish. So apparently, that's how Polish people spell London.
Fair enough. I mean, that's more or less how it's pronounced. So. I can see where they got that. You know, just hearing it and be like, oh, London. So what do you think about the United performance? I know you're not as clued in on, how they've been doing the rest of the season, but
I wasn't too impressed, kind of like you were. Thought Liverpool had more chances, but I think Man U was a lot more comfortable with the ball. But they had at least Man U was like, okay, let's at least try to get the ball on the side and cross it to Fellaini, and they had some movement and some positivity in the midfield in the first half, at least. In the second half, they had some of that too. But I mean, they just looked sharper. They looked better than Liverpool today. That could be because they were at home. I don't know.
They've not been great at Old Trafford for whatever reason in recent years. I mean, the stat they kept mentioning during the game was that 75% of the games Carrick starts, they win, and they only win 32% of the games that he doesn't start. So, this has been known for a long time that they've lacked a replacement for Carrick for years.
Mm-hmm.
And, now they have basically two. I mean, today Schweinsteiger and Carrick played the majority of the match, and then Schneiderlin came on. But either one of those guys could sit in for Carrick. Well, obviously, I guess the other one is going to start beside of him. But, in years past, that's been Cleverley. Think about that. So we've upgraded from Cleverley to Schweinsteiger. Now, granted, Schweinsteiger is older these days, but I thought he was excellent today.
Yeah, I did too. I thought he was really good. I thought the midfield for Man U was very good. With Carrick and Schweinsteiger were very good. Mata, when he was in, was all right. Who somebody else was playing in the center too, weren't they? Or was it just mostly them two?
Fellaini dropped back once Marshall came in.
Was there somebody behind Herrera? Was Herrera?
Yeah, Herrera.
I thought Herrera did some very good things too. So,
well, yeah, he won the penalty and then converted it.
So, well, I mean, in the play, just the movement and passing the ball back and forth, I thought he was very positive. So I think it was interesting for them to play Carrick and Schweinsteiger, but I understand why. Everybody kind of thought that Schneiderlin would get the start, but I don't know who would have not started.
Right.
Had Schneiderlin come in and started. So that may have also been when they had Rooney starting too before then. So I don't really know what people were projecting, but I think they at least had some kind of vision on what their game plan was when Liverpool was like, okay, we're just going to sit back and play five across the midfield and try not to give up a goal. And then when they had to go forward, it was like, what are we doing? Are we going to try to get the ball on the outside? Are we going to try to go through the middle? Are we trying to play quick? Because if they were trying to play quick, they didn't do that. So, I think Man U just had a better focus. And they were better with passes. I wasn't counting to begin with, but I would have lost count of how many bad passes Liverpool made. And I'm not talking about, goalkeeper up to Benteke just losing the ball. I'm talking about like 10 yards away, like just bad passes. I was well over 10, when Man U probably didn't have near that many.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There were some balls that didn't connect, but sometimes that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad pass. Maybe you're far enough up the field that trying a incisive through ball is it's worth the risk.
I'm not talking about that.
Right. Yeah. I can't remember any other. De Gea had some poor distribution as well. We talked about Norway, but
right to, I think it was Sean.
Yeah,
that was probably it.
In case people are not familiar with the lineup, so Sean is spelled with a C, not
it's like can.
Yeah. So in the back of his jersey says Emery.
Yes.
For it, or Emmer or something.
It's Imre.
It's Emery, right?
But Imre Sean. I don't know. I would have not pronounced it like that had I never heard it. So
right.
I would have pronounced it Kahn because he's German, and that is a German last name of sports history. So,
but it's spelled very differently.
Spelled differently, yes, but that's still what I would have thought of at first. Spelled with a K and an H, but still would have been Kahn.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's not a German name though. So, and I just double checked. It's not. It's a Turkish name. So,
who Imre Sean?
Yeah.
Well, he's definitely Turkish. You just look at him, you can tell.
So
he is. Made the comment during halftime that, everybody has like a natural position. He is like the one player that Liverpool has who can actually play anywhere and not look like he is somewhat out of position. At times he looked like he was playing a center attacking mid and like was pressing the back line. At other times he could play defensively. Last season he was in a back three. And then for Germany, he plays like right back. So, he can play anywhere, and he does an above-average job. Nothing great, but, he's always hustling and always – he was made some bad passes too, just like everybody else did for Liverpool. But, he was at least moving the ball up the field a lot, and didn't have nearly as many bad touches as Milner did. So he's one of those that, like, he needs to be on the team sheet, but I just don't know where you put him if you try to fit everybody else into their niche. If you fit everybody else first, then there's not going to be a spot for him. But it goes back to what I said before. Like, I really don't think that Henderson and Milner are two people that I would always put on the team sheet, but yet that too you've guaranteed your captaincy and your vice captaincy too. Like, I don't understand it. Like, they're not holding midfielders, but they're not good enough to get up the field a lot. And you have other attacking midfielders like Firmino and Coutinho and Lallana, and you've got holding midfielders in Sean and Lucas. So, like, what are you trying to do, Brendan Rodgers? Like, I just don't understand. And there's too many players for him to try to figure it out as he goes. Like, obviously what you're trying isn't working, so try something else.
I was looking here on World Soccer Talk. I thought I had seen something about Mixtixgarud and Celtic, but then I was trying to find another mention of that, and everything looks like it's from 2014. So I did notice that World Soccer Talk just had Ted Westervelt on for an interview on September. That's today's show, actually. So you heard him here first before he was on there. So
I will say, this is going completely off topic, but I mean, like, you can watch. It's a whole lot easier for me to watch NSL and USL games than it is. I think I may have not said that right. NASL and USL games than it is MLS games, because most of the NASL games, at least for like half the teams, are on Watch ESPN, and all of the USL games are basically on YouTube. So you can see them a lot more. They're a lot more available, and then like the MLS games are split over like 4 different channels, and like you have to have some of them, like you have to pay extra for some of them. So it's easier for me to follow the NASL and the USL, which then again, if you start following those teams, then you want some sort of promotion and relegation.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, the same can be said of the NFL and NBA. I mean, there's the NFL Sunday ticket and what is it, the league pass for the NBA?
Yes.
Or Major League Baseball has theirs as well. But why would anybody want every Major League Baseball game? I mean, even if you like baseball, who is going to watch all 162 games from every team? I think with that,
they usually you get a team that you follow, is how a lot of those work. But I mean, at least maybe it's just because I don't know. Let's just put it this way. The MLS games, there's like 2 on TV on Sunday. There's one on ESPN2 and there's one on Fox Sports. But other than that, finding the games is difficult. Same could be said with the NASL and the USL. Like, I don't know like an exact when the games are going to be. But I mean, like with football, that there's games at 1 o'clock, at 4:30, and they're either on CBS or they're on Fox. The Sunday night games on NBC, and the Monday night games on ESPN. Like, I know it's 4 different stations, and they've got the NFL Network now, which is just screwing everything up. But the games are at the same place every single week, so you at least know where they're at. They're the same day, and they're not on like some obscure channel like Univision, where you might not even have it. In the NBA, they have like Sundays and Wednesdays, Sundays and Fridays, and some other day I think are on ESPN, and all the other days like Tuesday, Thursday, it's on TNT. So you at least have one game a night basically on TV. You might not know who's playing, but you can find it, and that they play prime time. I mean, the NBA always, unless it's Saturday or Sunday afternoon, is at night. So, I mean, you can always find it, whereas the MLS just can't find it unless it's Sunday afternoon. Like, that's the only time that I know when it's on.
They don't play day games during the week in the MLS, so I think you still have that situation.
But those are the games that are, like, not on regular television. So
you mean the weekday games?
Yeah. Like, those are the ones that I can't find.
But, I mean, I think the primetime argument is – it doesn't have anything to do with primetime.
But at least the primetime for the NBA is on network stations, that are very popular.
So the Major League Baseball one is called Extra Innings. And I do think that you get all of the games. It says you'll get almost 100 out-of-market games a week. So –
maybe that's what it is. Maybe you get maybe they advertise it as you get all your team's games and you get all of the out-of-market games. I don't know. It might be a way. It might be advertising.
They also have some games on Major League Baseball TV, so it may be that you can get a subscription for Major League Baseball.TV for just your team. That may be the case, but the DirecTV listing is called Extra Innings, and I'm pretty sure it's all the games. I mean, I used to have DirecTV. And I used to halfway kind of know this kind of stuff. I didn't subscribe to anything. I had the like basic sports package that gave me like what was at the time Fox Soccer and I think Goal TV. But that tells you how long ago that it was called Fox Soccer still. But yeah, I mean the new MLS TV deal, it's packaged with US Soccer, so it's kind of a weird. I mean, I think probably the main reason they did that, it was just for a PR boost for the MLS, if we're honest about it. So,
well, you can watch. I mean, based on just this week, and it's not Univision, it's Unimos, which I think is like the Univision 2, which we don't get. But you can, watch all the games online with MLS Live, subject to blackout, which wouldn't really affect my viewing area. But, you have to pay for MSL Live that way. Or it's on Direct Kick, which you have to pay for that channel. So, I mean, it's not available to everybody unless it's the 2 games that happen to be on Sunday at like 5 and 7 or 4:30 and 6:30 or whatever they are. So that's, I mean, I don't know. It would be a whole lot easier to get into it if it was more available. But that's the issue, I guess, that college football and everything used to be plagued with, was you watched the one game that was on each week and you became a fan of whoever was on, which I think is why there's a lot of like Alabama fans or Oklahoma or whoever used to be popular, Nebraska. I don't know.
Notre Dame.
Yeah. So, I mean, if it was like the same team that was on each week, then you could kind of slightly follow it, I guess. But it's just hard to follow it when it's like, oh, yeah, here's 4 teams. You won't see another one of these for a couple weeks.
So I will say that it's better if you live in a city, so if you're in the DC area, then CSN covers, DC United. And the same thing in the Northeast, that Comcast covers the New England Revolution games as well. So
some Time Warner Cable does the Columbus game. Yes Network does NYC. Root Sports, I don't know whatever that is, does the Houston game. So, I mean, there's local, but obviously living in Shelby, North Carolina, there's not a local feed that I'm getting.
Right. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how far the Atlanta pool is, whether or not, Fox Sports South will cover those games or something.
Well, we get like the Redskins feeds for like when they were in the preseason. Like we got the Redskins broadcast of some preseason games. So
on what channel?
It was on like ABC, I think.
Oh, just yeah.
But I mean, it was like a syndicated kind of time slot. Like I don't think they replaced anything that was showing. I think it was like a Thursday or Friday night when they didn't have anything else on. But I don't know if the Atlanta pool would be high enough or would reach this far. It might, but I would doubt it.
So we will have to find out, or wait until 2017 to find out about that. But you will only have to wait until September 26th to hear from us. Now, I don't know. Right now on the schedule then we're going to talk about the U.S. Open Cup preview, which is Sporting KC versus the Union. I don't know if we're actually going to end up doing that, but that's we've got our eyeball on that. Those are teams that neither one of us follow, so we may decide to ditch that and just go with an EPL roundup. But we will at least remind everyone that the U.S. Open Cup is happening, because the U.S. Open Cup is an important competition because it is the one place where the teams like the Charlotte Independents, Cincinnati Saints, Cincinnati FC, which will be around, maybe it's FC Cincinnati. They don't exist yet, but they will exist next year. And the Carolina Railhawks, which the Carolina Railhawks, and actually this year the Charlotte Independents, have done very well in the U.S. Open Cup, given their place in the U.S. pyramid. So 2 MLS teams again in the final this year, but it is a place where the NASL and the USL and the NPSL and the USL PDL division, which is the Premier Development League is what PDL stands for, they can all shine in that U.S. Open Cup. And then players like Ibarra, who is now playing in Mexico but was playing for Minnesota United, they can get some attention in those things. So we'll at least remind everybody that that's happening on September 30th in Chester, Pennsylvania. And so if you're in the Philadelphia area, you can go check that out. But for now, this is going to be it for the Free Culture Sports Show.